Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something super exciting and honestly, a game changer in the world of business and tech. Apple's global supply chain shift in 2025. For years, every iPhone read, designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. But now, Apple is making a massive multi-billion-dollar shift, moving production out of China. It's a risky, bold move and a masterclass in corporate strategy. China was Apple's engine room, but now Apple is moving huge chunks of production to India and Vietnam. This isn't just a small tweak. It's a bold strategy called Nearshoring, and it's reshaping how Apple makes your iPhones, AirPods, and Macs. It's a fundamental rewiring of the system that made Apple the world's most valuable company. Why? Because having all your eggs in one basket, no matter how efficient, can be dangerous when that basket starts to wobble. Apple is building a network of new baskets, spreading risk across the globe. Today we'll unpack why Apple is leaving its longtime manufacturing home, meet the new players, and pull out key lessons for future business leaders. So grab your coffee, silence your phones, and let's get into the great Apple migration. This is a business case study unfolding in real time. It's about risk, resilience, and the future of global business. Let's see what's driving Apple's biggest move in decades. Ready? Let's go. Why would Apple mess with a formula that worked so well? 2 words, risk management. For years, China has been Apple's manufacturing powerhouse. Over 90% of iPhones are made there. It's like the ultimate hub. Think of it as the kitchen where all your favorite Apple gadgets are cooked up. But lately, things have gotten tricky. The U.S. China trade war made iPhones more expensive, threatening Apple's profits and sales. Geopolitical tension created uncertainty. No CEO could ignore it. Then came COVID-19. China's strict lockdown shut down entire factories overnight, delaying new iPhones and costing Apple billions. The pandemic exposed a critical vulnerability. When your whole operation depends on one place, a single disruption can halt everything. Political fights made things expensive. A global health crisis made things unreliable. Apple's leadership realized the cost of staying put was now higher than the cost of moving. The writing was on the wall: diversify or risk it all. Apple needed a supply chain that could withstand political shocks, health crises, and whatever comes next. The China-centric era was over. Apple had to move fast. The question became where to next. So, where does Apple go? Enter India and Vietnam. Both countries offer a young workforce, eager governments, and room to scale. India, with its Make in India initiative, is a double win, a manufacturing hub and a massive smartphone market. By making iPhones in India, Apple avoids import tariffs and can price products more competitively. Apple's partners, like Foxconn and Pegatron, are building huge new factories there. By 2025, up to 25% of iPhones could be assembled in India, up from just 5% a couple of years ago. A staggering shift. Apple's even making their fancy iPhone 16 Pro models in India now, first time ever outside China. Apple is also working with local giants like Tata, building a long-term ecosystem. Meanwhile, Vietnam is Apple's new hub for AirPods, MacBooks, and Apple Watches. Vietnam's skilled, low-cost labor and proximity to China make it ideal for transitioning supply chains. Apple's partners are expanding operations, turning Vietnam into a key production center. Together, India and Vietnam are the backbone of Apple's new resilient supply chain. It's a diversified multi-country strategy built for the future. Apple's manufacturing map has changed forever. Alongside offshoring, Apple is also exploring nearshoring. This is the big idea behind Apple's moves. Bringing some production closer to home, like ordering pizza from a nearby restaurant instead of one across town. Nearshoring means faster response to local demand, lower shipping costs, and closer collaboration between engineers and factories. In other words, it also means better communication with suppliers and easier inventory management. Imagine trying to coordinate with a factory 12 time zones away versus one just a few hours apart. Nearshoring makes life simpler. Apple isn't building giant iPhone factories in the U.S. that's still too expensive. Instead, it's investing in high-tech components made in America, like chips from Arizona and specialty glass from Kentucky. These critical parts give Apple more control and agility. If demand spikes, Apple can get components from Arizona in a day, not weeks. This reduces the need for massive inventory stockpiles and saves money. Nearshoring isn't all or nothing, it's about blending global and local production for maximum flexibility. Apple's supply chain is now a sophisticated web, not a single thread. The result? Faster, more resilient, and better able to handle surprises. It's a smart way to future-proof the business. Apple is setting a new standard for global manufacturing. This transition isn't easy. Moving out of China is one of the most complex business challenges ever. Apple spent decades and billions building China's unmatched manufacturing ecosystem. Replicating that in India and Vietnam takes time, money, and massive training. Early hiccups are inevitable. Production delays, quality issues, and supply chain snags. China's ability to scale up production overnight is legendary. India and Vietnam aren't there yet. Apple may face product shortages during big launches for a few years, and Apple can't just leave China behind. China is still a huge market, making up nearly 20% of Apple's sales. If Apple is seen as abandoning China, it risks backlash from both the government and consumers. Apple must balance moving production out with maintaining strong ties in China. It's a delicate diplomatic dance. One wrong move could have serious consequences. The stakes couldn't be higher. So, what can future business leaders learn from Apple's big move? First, build for resilience, not just efficiency. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Second, timing matters. Apple started diversifying years ago, not in a panic. Proactive strategy beats reactive scrambling every time. Third, local partnerships are powerful. Apple's work with Indian companies isn't just about factories, it's about embedding in key markets. Think long-term new markets are partners, not just production sites. Finally, have the courage to adapt. Apple tore up a winning playbook to secure its future. The world changes, so must your strategy. The ultimate test of leadership is embracing change and making bold decisions. Apple's supply chain saga is a blueprint for navigating global uncertainty. Who will follow Apple's lead? The next chapter in global business is being written right now. Will you be ready to write your own?